Alright people, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you'll know when I upload the next video and you'll be supporting my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Every time I upload a new video, I'll be tweeting. Ladies and gents, almost as you reaction, this is Heroes of Might and Magic 4. 16 by 4 2 multiply 2 review. What? This is by channel ssethtzeentach. Spasmaticus, a young king on a mad quest to rule the world. Okay, I did the Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and Heroes of Might and Magic 3 review videos from ssethtzeentach. So I'm like, what the fuck, let's do the fourth one. So far they have been incredible. Third one apparently is the most famous one. I guess people have a real, fan base around it. But then, you know, when I saw the review, it was like one of those Bethesda Motors type of things, right? It's not a bug, it's a feature type of thing. Lots of things are kind of, in a way game breaking and OP, but there are so many things like that, and the game is so diverse. And obviously the fan base basically knows all of them. They made it into a feature, I guess. That's why people love it, the random factor of it. So I guess we'll see how Heroes of Might and Magic 4 pans out. Clearly not good as 3, otherwise people wouldn't have held 3 as such a high regard. So let's watch this one. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, check out the reaction, there's a link in the description, check out the cards, and yeah, let's watch it.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be covering a game designed on a shoestring budget while its own parent company was going bankrupt, Heroes of Might and Magic 4, and despite how little time and money they had, the outcome is pretty damn impressive. It also managed to produce 2 expansions on a nanofiber budget. The result, well, have a look for yourselves.
Mongo, great barbarian from the north, seeking to conquer new lands for his kingdom. Spasmaticus, a young king on a mad quest to rule the world. 5 leaders from 5 different lands have set their sights on the kingdom of Channing and the riches of its capital city. Only one can emerge victorious. Only one will weather the winds of war.
Story. To recap the events of Heroes 3, some mages enchanted 2 swords to each have the nuclear yield of a small sun. Stated only in the fine print of a shipping invoice, these swords shouldn't touch, or else warranty is null and void, since the planet will erupt in a nuclear explosion. So, 2 heroes do exactly that and kill everyone. Some people manage to survive by following portals to a new planet, so they can ruin it all over again. Unfortunately, there's no Geneva Conventions or NATO oversight for wizardry, which is arguably the greatest cause of death in the Might and Magic universe. War crimes by practitioners of the arcane are rare.
Not much of heroes, are they, if the 2 heroes literally did things they're not supposed to and kill the fucking planet?
Prosecuted, as mages will often teleport out of courtrooms and cast mass Alzheimer's on the judge and jury. The only people not susceptible to magical subversion are barbarians. Being so mentally retarded, they're not even considered a vegetable anymore. Gameplay. Heroes 4 is the most hero-centric game of the entire series. Heroes in this game have a physical presence in the battlefield and can be killed. It's just gonna cost you your entire army to do so. Heroes go from being fragile glass to killing 2 or 3 black dragons per attack. As heroes level up, the power gap between them and normal units only increases. At some point, you're left feeling like a Dragon Ball Z character, if the plot of Dragon Ball Z involved slaughtering entire populations of crippled, boneless children. And that's a good feeling. To all the Heroes 4 critics out there, have you never experienced the intoxicating sensation of absolute control, of absolute power? I have. Once. My friend was in anaphylactic shock from his nut allergy, and I stole his EpiPen. I'm really sorry about that, by the way. I thought the nut allergy was a joke. I mean, I'm not gay either. I've also got an allergy to nut. Heroes 4 plays differently too, but maintains many of—
So I guess in this game a character can be weak as shit or as powerful as fuck. So like Elder Scrolls, right? That's the same shit in the Skyrim. You certain potion, certain enchantment, holy shit, you can become way too OP.
the older game's mechanics. You explore and plunder the lands and slowly build up an unstoppable team of adventurers to dominate rival players. The original campaigns are all good fun and tell some enjoyable stories with lots of colorful character development. In fact, some of the campaigns have such lengthy dialogue and text that you feel like you're reading a short fantasy novel instead. The same can't be said for the 2 expansions, which sound like they were recorded off a copper wire inside a submarine.
Mysterio the Magnificent has traveled south to the shores of the Senjak Sea, to a wild land inhabited by many untamed and ferocious tribes. Little is known about this region, even to the great...
It echoes, the voiceover echoes. What, they didn't have a studio? This is Heroes of Might and Magic 4. What did they do with the, money with Heroes of Might and Magic 3? They don't even have a studio. If you have a studio, then you shouldn't have this echo problem.
Mysterio,
with maybe a small paragraph of text explaining your motivations that can be summarized as, "Hey faggot, some necromancer is resurrecting people's assholes and ruining the prostitution industry. Stop him by collecting his offshore banking details hidden across 7 tax havens." Both the expansions feel like some filler bullshit intended to suck up as much of your time as possible to justify the original box price. Don't expect anything more than a handful of new units and structures. There's less units in the game compared to the third title, and they don't have second tier upgrades like before, but every single creature has special abilities and properties that make them distinctly unique, such as these Irish migrants, violent and aggressive, but easy to kill, with the ability to give themselves extra luck once per turn, but they'll need a lot more than luck to unify their island. There's lots of little quality of life improvements from the previous game. You no longer have to visit every single fucking neutral dwelling to collect your forces. Instead, you use a caravan system to safely and quickly transport troops between structures in towns, provided there's a direct logistic route available. In towns, you now need to pick upgrade paths to choose which higher tier units you'd like to produce, allowing you to adapt your strategy according to the enemy or what sort of resources you've got access to. The unit models look alright.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, people, used to, I guess, when this game from 2002, 20 years ago, people used to say like, what the fuck does gaming does for a kid anyway, right? It's just stupid Mario Bros type of Nintendo shit, right? What does a game do to a kid? It just ruins him, ruins their brain. They need to be more productive. They don't know this shit, right? Games like this, strategy game where you have to actually, micromanage the shit out of everything, right? Where you learn how to manage things, right? How to basically, I guess, foresee what to do, how to do, plan. This is like, I guess, amateur MBA or something. I don't know. This literally tells you how to run shit.
Maybe they're 3D models baked into 2D sprites, who knows? Whatever they are, most of them are quite well animated with joke animations if you mouse over them. Like this female chaos sorceress, who's undergoing chemotherapy. As for the combat itself, there's a new movement grid that I don't exactly understand, but I do appreciate that projectiles and spells now have collision and actually require you to have direct line of sight to your intended target. This means that you can actually conceal your shooters and spellcasters from direct attack by placing bulkier melee units in front of them. Resource management in the game is some weird shit, since most towns produce less gold even when fully upgraded, and many buildings cost more resources than you'd find on the map. Again, heroes are necessary to build up a reliable line of credit. High-ranking shekel collectors and Jew lords can be elected as governors for cities if they have a nobility skill, improving unit recruitment and providing extra daily gold and resources if they completed an accountancy course. Some upgrades in towns also make no fucking sense. In Heroes 3, building a citadel and a castle would greatly improve your defenses, while in 4 they provide you with a wall and a gate that can be killed in a single turn, despite costing the equivalent of several max level units to build. Unlike in Heroes 3, where all the towns are represented by different factions, Heroes 4 towns are grouped loosely by their school of economic ideology, contrasted by their polar opposite. These are order, planned economy, chaos, anarcho-capitalism, nature, the free market, life, crypto-theocracy, death, communism, and might. the single-market ethno-state of Zion. Supporters of their respective ideology are varied and diverse. The free market commands phoenixes capable of reincarnating after a market crash, while communism boasts Bolshevik vampires that sustain themselves off the grain and blood of Polish peasants. Heroes are multidisciplinary in this game, since on top of mages and Super Saiyans, you can also recruit heroes skilled in stealth who can sneak across the map undetected, so long as the enemy doesn't have a superior scouting skill to reveal them, allowing you to stealthily flag dwellings and disrupt supply lines, or even potentially taking an undefended city under your opponent's nose. Heroes 4 allowed you to do something wacky as well.
Okay, how does Seth come across this kind of clips? Seth's browsing history must be questionable, let's just say.
Creatures can be split from heroes and used to independently explore and take resources or items, but can never flag dwellings by themselves. It's an interesting idea that also means your main heroes never have to leave a front line, since reinforcements will reach them manually from nearby towns. Remember diplomacy in Heroes 3? A lot of people complained about that, so now you have 2 diplomacy skills, allowing you to convert a fraction of neutral monsters to your side. However, one requires money, and the other one requires nothing. Also, it now works on enemy armies, allowing you to pay off a portion of the opponent's army and persuade them to turncoat before the battle even begins. There's a huge range of spells in this game, and that's part of the main allure. Learning the highest level spells takes time, since there's now 5 levels of mastery for each school, up to
So I guess so far only thing I can think of that Heroes of Might and Magic 4 is kind of like 3, but certain things are watered down, right? You know, the units are not as much as they were in the third one. I guess they didn't have good enough budget. You know, a whole sounds and shit are bad, voiceovers and things like that. And I guess people just didn't like it compared to the 3. I don't know.
Grand Mastery, which also requires proficiency in sub-skills to reach, but it's well worth it when you turn your 8-man party into an 8-man group of immortals by casting Divine Intervention every single turn. On a final note, the music in Heroes of Might and Magic 4 is absolutely fantastic. The other Heroes games are also great in terms of music, but the compositions here are much more reminiscent of the opera performances you'd hear in Heroes 2. It's very calm and soothing, and doesn't grate on your ears, even after you've listened to them for a few hours. Conclusions: I hope you've enjoyed reading this essay as much as I enjoyed writing it. Heroes 4 is a fantastic game that never got the exposure it deserved from living in the shadow of its universally acclaimed predecessor, but it's still worth playing and provides you with hours of fun. I also got it for only about $10 on Good Old Games. Here in Scandinavia, $10 will maybe buy you 2 small potatoes and some grilled firewood, but this will keep the hunger pangs at bay for much, much longer. As always, more content to come, so stay.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. Heroes of Might and Magic 4. Kind of, like I said, it feels similar to the third one. Yes, and not much to it, I guess. The low budget. I don't get this. What did they do with the third's money, right? It felt like they didn't have a studio when they were voice recording. The voice was, I guess, you know, reverberating, the echoing all across the room. So maybe the guy wasn't available and they just, I guess, did that over the phone. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Heroes of Might and Magic 4. Right, people, this was by the ssethtzeentach, obviously. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the Rick Sunday. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards, check out the cards, and yeah, I guess I'll see you next time.